This video is brought to you by scdkeys.com. You need store credit to buy your games anyway, so why not get it for a bit cheaper? They've got PlayStation Network $50 credit codes, and after you use our special code with GC3, you'll be getting that for just $46.64. Also, if you're looking to buy games on your Nintendo Switch, they've also got Nintendo eShop codes for $45.59 after you use the code GC3. They've also got fantastic deals on PC software such as Windows 10 and Office 2019. Check out the links in the description box below to get great deals on everything I just mentioned. Now onto the video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a PlayStation 4 controller that is worth $14,000. Yes, 14 grand. Definitely not something everybody can afford, but it's a funny thing to look at anyway. We're just 11 days away from Red Dead Redemption 2, and a lot of information about that game has come out, including how much hours of story content you'll have to delve into. Of course, there is going to be an online component, but that won't be available from the get-go, but it is good to know that just the single-player story is going to keep you busy for a very, very long time. On top of that, we've got the confirmation for the official file size for Red Dead Redemption 2. This is something a lot of people have been talking about. It's not the original 105 gigabytes, but it's still going to be a very sizable game. And if Red Dead Redemption 2 does well enough, Rockstar will obviously consider a RDR3, and I think that's a formality. While all of that is positive news, there's also some controversy surrounding Rockstar in the fact that Dan Houser, studio co-founder, talked in an interview how there are employees working 100-hour weeks, and while on one sense, you can commend them for working hard, 100-hour work weeks is pretty ridiculous. Black Ops 4 was just released and it has set a new launch day sales record, but physical sales for the game are a little bit low. I'll take a look as to why that might be. Marvel Spider-Man is getting a big update, and a free-to-play game on the PlayStation 4 is also getting a massive update. More on that at the end of this video. First, let's go over this DualShock 4 controller that is $14,000. It's a luxury DualShock 4 and it's from an online retailer in Brick. Yes, the controller is 14 grand. There's another option available for 8,500, but the controller itself features 24 karat gold and features several diamonds in each solid gold face button. This is an absolute overkill of a controller, but if you ballers want to check it out, we'll leave a link for it in the description box down below. Let's be real. Please don't spend $14,000 on a controller. You probably have a mortgage to pay. You probably have kids to support. You've got bills to pay, and that 14 grand can go towards that stuff. However, if you do have more money than God, then I guess go ahead and check it out. Alright, so I want to move on from that as quick as possible before I actually sell someone on that controller. Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be released next Friday, and we've got a ton of information on the game, and that's coming from Rockstar Games co-founder Dan Houser. He spoke to Vulture, and he said that there's about 65 hours of story content featured in the game. That includes the motion captured cutscenes, and that sounds very impressive. I imagine that 65 hours is the entire game encompassed, because Grand Theft Auto 5, you can complete that game in like 20 to 25 hours if you just play through the story. Of course, if you delve into the side content, it becomes a far bigger experience, but if it was 65 hours for just the single player story, that sounds a bit excessive, so I'm pretty sure that's the entirety of the game. But also, Dan Houser mentioned that there was about 5 hours of content that they actually cut from the game. Here's exactly what he said. Quote, "We removed a mission on a train where you had to deal with bounty hunters because it was fun at first, but then it wasn't. This part of the process is always about compromise and horse trading. Everyone always loses bits of the game they love." That's good to see, because you see with a lot of these bigger open world games, studios and developers will just keep content in there so they can pad playtime and say, hey, we have this 100-hour experience for you to delve into. Well, is that entire 100-hour experience quality? I think with Rockstar, yes, they want to offer that big experience, but they also want to offer a quality experience with every inch of the game. Also, moving on, I just want to cover this quick because we've been talking about Red Dead Redemption 2's file size a lot, and if you go on the Microsoft Store, it lists its approximate size at 88.57 gigabytes, so that's a little bit short than the original rumored 105 gigabytes, but still being 90 gigabytes is quite insane. Do keep in mind that this is a game that's going to be frequently updated with the online components still to come, with other updates to come, so that 88.57 gigabytes, it's only going to be that at the start, and then it's going to grow and grow and grow. If you're looking to keep this game installed forever, I would honestly have like 120 gigabytes ready just for RDR2. Also, speaking with Vulture, Dan Houser talked about the potential of a Red Dead Redemption 3, and he said if this one does well enough, and we think we have other interesting things to say when talking about the possibility of Red Dead Redemption 3. Now, even if our RDR3 comes to fruition, I don't think we'll see that for a very long time. It's been 8.5 years since the release of the first Red Dead Redemption, so you know with these games, Rockstar really likes to put a lot of time in between their game releases. They're not one of these studios that churns out games every year. This isn't an Assassin's Creed type type of thing. They really take their time creating the best experience possible, but what Rockstar does is they'll release the same game multiple times. So don't be all too surprised if Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out, you buy it on the PlayStation 4, then the PlayStation 5 releases in 2019 or 2020, and then RDR2 is released over there as well, and then say you want the PC version as well. I imagine the PC version would be released after that. So there are going to be people that buy Red Dead Redemption 2 3 times. At the very least, I think the majority of people are going to buy it at least 2 times, and so that's how Rockstar really gets you, and they continue to create passive income for a game that they developed years ago. Also, while all of that news is somewhat positive, Dan Houser also spoke to GamesIndustry.biz, and he said something a little bit controversial. He mentioned that parts of the team have been working 100-hour weeks several times in 2018 to create this project, and that this was the hardest Rockstar project ever. Now, on one token, you can commend them for working 100-hour weeks, but at the same time, 100-hour weeks is absolutely ridiculous. If you were working 5 days a week, that's 20 hours a day. Obviously, I'm sure nobody worked 20-hour workdays. If they did, that is ridiculous. But probably, yeah, they were going to work 6 or 7 times a week. But even then, if you divide 100 by 7, that is still a lot of hours to be working every day. Hopefully, anyone that worked those 100-hour weeks were compensated accordingly by Rockstar. Rockstar is going to make a ton of money off of this game. So developers that are working 100-hour weeks, even if it's not every week, if they even once or twice put in a 100-hour week, they should be getting compensated very, very well. And let's be real, Take-Two has the money to compensate people, so that shouldn't be an issue. But still, even though Red Dead Redemption 2 is an ambitious project and they do have deadlines to meet, 100-hour weeks is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if that was a little bit of a hyperbolic statement, but that's probably not something you should say for the public to consume, because now they are getting a lot of backlash for that statement. Alright, so that's all of the Red Dead Redemption 2 talk. Again, the game will be released on October 26th, so very soon. So we'll talk more about that game then. Also, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was just released, and Activision has put out an official press release talking about how the game did. Quote, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has set a new launch day record as the biggest day one digital release in Activision history. Digital sales for the first day of release broke the franchise record set in 2017 by Call of Duty World War II. Released Friday, Black Ops 4 also set a new PlayStation record for day one digital full game sales on the PlayStation Store globally. The title also quickly became the best-selling Activision Xbox One digital game on day one globally. The first Call of Duty release ever on Blizzard's Battle.net, the PC version of Black Ops 4 also delivered a new franchise high in which launch day PC digital sales more than doubled year on year. It looks like the physical sales for the game are rather low, but do bear in mind that this is a game that is online only. There is no single player campaign, and Activision is promoting it as an online experience, so you would imagine that just with that promotion, people are just gonna buy the digital version of the game. I think more so than previous Call of Duty games where you did have that single player experience, people are just gonna see it as an online experience. But why not buy it digitally? And I do think gamers and consumers are becoming more versed in buying games digitally. I think it's just a trend we're gonna see in all of games, but even doubly so for a game like Black Ops 4 that did strip away that offline feature and then is going multiplayer and online only. Moving on from that, Marvel's Spider-Man was also one of the biggest game releases of the year, and Insomniac is saying that it will finally be getting a New Game Plus update very soon. That was stated in an interview with Game Informer, and the game is also going to be getting its first piece of DLC very soon in Spider-Man: The City That Never Sleeps. This DLC focuses on Black Cat and will be out on October 23rd, and then there are 2 more DLCs that are a part of the Season Pass, and those are going to come before the year's out. We didn't get an official date for New Game Plus, but it is something that should be coming very soon. Hopefully it goes hand in hand with the new DLC's release. And lastly, Defiance 2050, a PlayStation 4 free-to-play title, is getting a massive update with Trouble in Paradise. There's an official PlayStation blog post that we'll leave in the description box down below, and as I mentioned, Defiance 2050 is a free-to-play game, so if you want to check it out, no investment required from you. But with this new update, you'll be able to play through all new story missions to learn more about the grid. On top of that, you've got a brand new weapon skin system that allows you to customize your weapons with spectacular new styles to suit the Halloween season. You can pick up weapon skins by taking part in the Hulk or Hell event or by picking them up in the store, with many more skins to come in future updates. The update also brings a brand new class with the Crusader class, so a lot to check out if you're into Defiance. Again, the PlayStation blog post will be in the description box down below, and that's gonna conclude this video. Again, a DualShock 4 controller is available for 14 grand. I just thought that would be something interesting to mention. Nobody buy it, please. Red Dead Redemption 2 looks to have 65 hours of story content. It's gonna be just under 90 gigabytes, and RDR3 will be considered if RDR2 does well. I think that's a formality at this point. RDR2 is gonna sell very, very well. And while all of that news is positive, it's not cool to see that developers are working 100-hour weeks. That's a bit excessive. Black Ops 4 has set launch records for digital sales, so that's cool to see. However, physical sales are lacking. Marvel Spider-Man will be getting a New Game Plus update very soon, and Defiance 2050 gets a massive Trouble in Paradise update today. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.